Gentlemen, welcome on into Sports Fan Base Network's production of Pennwood football. They'll be taking on Academy Park as we pause a little bit here for our national anthem. It's myself, Josh Safran, and Justin Watson on the call today as the 0-7 Pennwood Patriots look to get their first win of the season. It's going to be a tall task going against Academy Park. This game, Pennwood is on a 9-game losing streak. That's right, 9 games dating back to last season that was cut short by COVID. They only played 5 games the entire year, actually winning the first 3 and then dropping the last 2 of the season. And that losing streak has carried over to this year. Just about set to kick off here as national anthem plays. It's 11 a.m., but don't tell Penwood football that. These kids seem to be ready to go. Not quite Friday Night Lights, but hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. High school football in the Delaware Valley League alongside Justin Watson. Justin, tall task for the Penwood Patriots today. What do you need to see? I mean, I know last time it was all about number 7, Jayon Haley. I can't expect a lot different today.
No, you can't really expect too much different today. But really what you're going to see is probably Academy Park looking to shut Haley down, and then you're going to have to see some other guys step up. It's all going to start, like I was saying last game, it's all going to start with the offensive line, defensive line, getting that push up the middle. Penwood likes to get the ball to the outside, but they're going to need to establish a bit of a run going up the middle of the field so to keep Academy Park honest. And we'll see defensively what Penwood is able to do with Academy Park. Academy Park having a lot of success this year, having a lot of success over the years. These are two teams that know each other very well, been battling in the Del Val for 30, 40 years almost, going back to the 80s, and this is going to be no different. I mean, throw the records out the window. Right now you're going to see a rock'em sock'em game of high school football, good for the Saturday morning. Can't wait for this game to get started. Love being here. I'm glad everybody's getting a chance to witness this with us.
Treat to watch a football game as it looks like Pennwood's going to receive. And it looks like they're expecting a little bit of trickery here. And now they drop back to a normal kickoff formation here. Pennwood back to return. It looks like we've got Aaron Stevens and Jayon Haley, a dangerous return team. And we are off. That one's going to Aaron Stevens. Probably a good choice to pick away from Haley. Stevens looking to find some room. He gets a great block by Haley. He takes it down the sideline. Goes out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Justin, I mean, I don't know if that was just a little bit of spatial awareness there, but I think he might have had a chance there to break that.
Yeah, he might have. If he were able to keep his feet in bounds, he might have had a chance to break that a few more yards. The Academy Park special teams unit coming down, they didn't come down with a bunch of aggression or anything. They kind of held back a little bit. I don't know if they're underestimating the Pennwood special teams.
Yeah.
That can be dangerous, but we'll have to see. When you're coming into a game in high school, when a team that has been winless on the season, you kind of get a little big-headed about yourself. But it's a rivalry game, so I'm sure they'll wake up.
And it looks like we got Aaron Stevens taking the snap. He takes it a little wildcat, heading to the right here. Nice burst of speed. Oh, but a better tackle there from the Academy Park defender. Looks like that was Taquan Cuff, the cornerback, coming up and making a tackle in the first level.
Great textbook tackle by Cuff there, coming up in open space, able to wrap up and take him down. If he doesn't get that, Penwood's getting the first down and maybe more on that play. That was a great job by him.
Yeah, I think he had more there. I was surprised to see Aaron Stevens. Now, I wasn't here to call the last game. Did you see that look with Stevens? Because we've seen Haley running the Wildcat, and I haven't really seen Stevens or Mike Keene, the two main running backs for this Penwood.
Definitely not. No, we didn't see that last week too much, and then especially early off in the game. This is a little different look than we're used to seeing early in the game for Penwood.
Stevens has it, going with the Wildcat again, going through the blockers. He gets a nice little 6-yard run there. The Pennwood, here we go again. I believe that's number 50. Check that name for you in a second, but already a little too aggressive there. I saw that last game. Discipline an issue for the Patriots here, and that was Osman Kamara. My apologies.
Yeah, a lot of times you're going to see, you're going to see those mistakes happen discipline-wise with a young team. You know, sometimes you let your emotions get the best of you, and you get a little bit too excited about certain things, get a little jumpy. But you know, that's going to resolve itself over time. And you know, as the season is growing on, they have one more game left. We're seeing less and less penalties, less and less mishaps of the mental.
We got a 3rd and 4 here. It's the do-it-all man, Jayon Haley. I would expect a bit of a wildcat here, and yes, indeed, he's looking to cut it on the right side. He gets a block, and that's going to be a first down for the Pennwood Patriots. A great sight if you're a Pennwood fan. A good 3 runs, pick up 3 or 4 yards at a time, and move the chains. Can't ask for much more than that.
Absolutely, and if you were with us last week, you know that Pennwood was able to move the ball on the Chichester defense early on in the game. They were able to move the ball good 70 yards upfield, and then we know what happened on the end of that drive. But right here, we're looking for different results as Pennwood is moving the ball on this Academy Park defense, showing them different wildcat looks, but definitely having success moving the ball. And I'm wondering if they've started off, they've gone all wildcat plays starting off. I wonder if there's something that they saw on the tape and then their scouting report where they felt like they could take advantage as they're having a bit of success. Going to the outside, as we know, Pennwood's strength is getting to that outside. Once you get to that outside, if they're able to hit that corner, it's hard to get their ball carriers down to open space, but they're also taking advantage going up the middle as well, keeping that Academy Park defense honest.
Yeah, and this is something that you like to see from Pennwood. In the games I've called, they've had a bit of trouble going between the tackles, and now I believe it's 1 out of the 3 or 4 plays we've seen so far in this game has gone between the tackles, but it's been successful. I mean, that's the backbone of football right there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now we got Jayon Haley. He takes the Wildcat, and we got a flag. And it looks to be a false start. I got to assume. Can't imagine what else would be a dead ball. Yes, indeed. Pennwood backing up now. This is really what did Pennwood in the games I've called here. Is when you get yourself in the 2nd and long, you get yourself in the 3rd and long, you don't have that reliable quarterback that can air it out in these situations. And I'm interested to see, does Cavalian Clark get his first reps under center now?
It'll be interesting to see. We'll see what happens there. We don't see the Pennwood offense go under center. We don't have to see the quarterback go under center that much. They do a lot of shotgun offenses, a lot of wildcat offensive, getting the quarterback in the space, getting him some a running start on certain plays. So we'll have to see really what happens there, and we'll see if they get ready to put the ball through the air as we're at 2nd and 14.
And there's not a ton of fans here today for an 11 a.m. Saturday start. You got to give credit to the Academy Park cheerleaders. They're certainly bringing the noise early on today.
Oh, absolutely. This is a big time rivalry game. Cross-town rivals, family versus family, friends versus friends.
It's Cavalian Clark who has it. Stevens was the motion man, rolling out of the pocket, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds, but we do have a flag, and it is in the area of holding. And the referee immediately points to the direction of Pennwood.
And this has been the big story, like you said, about this Pennwood offense. You get 2 steps forward and take another step back as they've been moving the ball, and now the penalties have gone to take them back to their original line of scrimmage where they began to drive.
And yes, indeed, it is a holding on Pennwood. Wow, this looks like it's going to be a 2nd and 25 now. Maybe even more. So a tough hill to climb if you're Pennwood. This would be a nice time to break out the bag of tricks like they did last week early on in the game. A 53-yard pass, actually, from Cavalian Clark to Jaleel Haley. Excuse me, not Jaleel Haley. I got Jayon Haley on the brain. To Halim Butler. My mistake there, folks. Cavalian Clark has it now. He's looking for Haley, the motion man, and he just throws it over his head. Honestly, might have been to the benefit of Pennwood. It's Jayon Haley. He's a big guy, but that could have been a car crash collision there.
He put him in the bad spot. If he goes up to get that ball, there's no way he's able to advance that ball at all, and probably sets him up for a big hit. And one hit that you don't want to take this early in the game, especially in the situation where you were 2nd and 24.
2nd and 24 isn't the time to do it, maybe with the game on the line, but few minutes in the first quarter, not exactly where you want to put your star player in the danger zone like that. Now 3rd and 24. I expect to see a little draw or a little running play here. 3rd and 24 might be insurmountable for this Pennwood offense right now. They do have Cavalian Clark out there. They might try and just air it out. Clark has it. And they're airing it out. He's looking, he tosses, he's hit as he throws. Oh, and an interception goes by the wayside for Academy Park. It looked like a major opportunity there for Darren Graham. The ball sort of just fluttered into his arms, but he couldn't bring it into his breadbasket. So Pennwood takes a break, a little bit of an ill-advised throw there from Cavalian Clark, but give credit to Academy Park. They got the pressure and almost forced the turnover.
Yeah, they were able to get that pressure coming from the outside, unblocked, untouched on the outside, and that's something you don't want to see if you're a Pennwood fan right now. You want to see those linemen pick up their assignments, and that's going to be something that they're going to have to do all day if they want to have any type of success.
Punts it away. I think that might have gotten tipped a little bit. End over end punt. Takes a nice little bounce, and you know what? Really not bad for Pennwood there. You pin Academy Park within the 30, and hey, in this high school football, pinning someone inside the 30 is like the college football NFL equivalent to pinning inside the 20, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're talking about a high-powered Academy Park offense. They can do a lot of things well. So Pennwood's really got their backs against the wall against this team, really the whole game, because Academy Park is able to move the ball in different ways. So they really have to trust their training and really keep their head on the swivel to see what Academy Park is doing with the ball.
Yeah, Academy Park comes into this game. They're 5-2. They're coming off a 37-10 victory against Interborough just last week. But Darrell Fields only threw for 39 yards last week. Let's see what the air attack is like. And right away, a little bit of trickery here, a reverse handoff, and that should be good enough for a first down there. And it was Eric Willis who ended up with the ball after a little bit of window dressing from Academy Park.
I like that, a little bit of window dressing as you saw the reverse handoff there, and had to bring all the defenders across the other side of the field. They were able to get into some open space, get close to a first down. Looks like it's about excuse me, looks like it's about 4. It's about 2nd and 4, as the announcer said.
Yeah, so it actually looked better, I think, in real time. I thought he got a few more yards there.
From our vantage point, it looked like a lot more.
Academy Park will use all of their running backs. They'll get their receivers involved in the running game, and that was Eric Willis, a receiver who was involved in that play. Fields hands it off again, and that's going to be just a few yards. Let's see where they mark him. That was Joe Davis on the carry there. That's going to be close to the marker, and they are moving the chains. So the first down of the game for Academy Park. Both teams keeping it on the ground, getting a first down on their first drive.
Yeah, both teams are having success early on, and we'll see how Academy Park is looking to attack. They're going to the outside, going to the running game. Maybe try to bring those safeties in a little bit, try to take advantage of something over the top. We'll have to see. But Pennwood is keeping the safeties back, keeping everything normal.
Darrell Fields pass it to Khalil Greenwood. Greenwood gets spun out of bounds around the 5 yards in, and we're going to get a penalty here. Wonder if that's like a late hit or even a horse collar here.
It shouldn't be a horse collar. If they call a horse collar, I'll be mad at that. It looked like he grabbed him around the outside of the shoulder pads, but he didn't pull him down. He just kind of spun him around.
So gotta wonder if maybe he stepped out of bounds earlier than we thought.
Maybe he held on to him a little too long while he was out of bounds. But if they call a horse collar, I might have to take my headset off and go down there and have a conversation, see what's really going on.
And we just got personal foul.
They must have heard what I said.
Wow. Like we were saying, penalties. Really gonna hurt this Pennwood team if they keep this pace up. It's turning like what, a 3-yard gain into now a 20-yard gain, give or take. And now Academy Park has it in prime field position, about to cross the 40-yard line of Pennwood. Academy Park still in the gun. Darrell Fields barking out signals, gets the ball, hands it right off there. Oh, and he's got some room. He burst of speed, and he's eventually wrapped up around the 25-yard line. I didn't catch the number there. I believe it was Darian Ford, but don't quote me on that, who had the nice burst of speed up the middle.
Yeah, going up the middle, it's been a struggle for the Pennwood offense at the last couple of weeks, stopping that run up the middle, especially against offensive lines that are really getting that good push. We saw Chichester getting a good push last week, and if Academy Park is able to establish the same type of push, they're going to have a day going up the middle.
That was actually Joe Davis on the carry the last play. My apologies, number 9. Khalil Greenwood, the motion man, and he ends up getting it. He's going around the corner. But nice defense there by the Pennwood line, or should I say the secondary, coming up to make that play and stopping it just for a gain of 3 yards. That looked like it had big play potential.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of swarming against this Academy Park team. They're a tackle-breaking offense, and you got to do some swarming. You got to gang tackle on them. And really, you got to be rough with them. You got to try to slow them down. They're a physical team. You got to be physical right back and slow them down, weaken them up, getting their heads a little bit. You got to do everything you can do right now to get into a good team's head.
2nd and 7 says the scoreboard here. Ball right inside the red zone from the 20. Fields has it, fakes the handoff, passes it right down the middle, and he's thrown down right before the first down marker, setting up a 3rd and 1 for Academy Park. Justin, that looked like a little RPO right there.
Little something there, little something special, little razzle dazzle, like they like to say. We'll probably see a little bit of that from both teams today. These are both those types of teams. So that's why I like games like this. You can see a little fun stuff. You see some of the basics, some of the fun, and it gets physical too. Rivalry games, nothing like it. Saturday morning, Kerrfield and Yaden. Y'all need to get down here.
Huge 3rd and 1 here for the Patriots and the Knights. Still in the shotgun. Darrell Fields calls a man in motion. That's Greenwood. He fakes handoff to him. Goes up to Willis. Willis pushes forward. He's going to have the first down, but not much more. Inside the 10, in the 9-yard line. Khalil Greenwood thinks that's the goal line. He signals for a touchdown. Still got 9 yards to go, Khalil.
Still got a little bit to go, a little ways to go. Got to know where you are on the field, but he might be trying to project into the future. You never know. They're moving the ball here. And a lot of misdirection offense. You try to get a young. That's how you attack a young team. Sometimes you give them misdirection. See if they're disciplined enough to stay home, stay in their lanes. A lot of times, young teams have trouble staying home, and that's what Academy Park looks to establish here. A little bit of confusion.
That's not Darrell Fields. Excuse me. That's Eric Willis, and he gets. So they're going to say he didn't actually get pushed out. He did a good job of staying in bounds, and they're going to mark him down at the 5. And that caught me off guard. I was expecting to see Darrell Fields up there, but it was the more slender, speedier Eric Willis, the running back, taking a direct snap.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to give us some different looks today. Try to take advantage of a few different things, a few different looks that the Pennwood defense might give, see what they can take advantage of and really cause some more confusion with the substitution patterns and with the misdirections.
It was a good stop indeed for Pennwood. 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line, a very tough spot for any team, just less room to maneuver. Fields has it, hands it off here to Willis again, and Willis just powers ahead and falls forward into the end zone for a touchdown. Academy Park puts the first points on the board, and that was Joe Davis going right down the gut and falling forward for 6.
Yeah, that one started up front with the big guys. The big guys got the push, open up some holes, touchdown. That's a touchdown every time when you get that close.
I mean, this Academy Park offensive line has a couple of guys who are just absolute units. I mean, number 76 especially, Markai Stevens, he stands out. He's 6 foot, but the weight is not listed. We got a whistle blown. Flag on the play for a potential extra point. And based on the play being dead, I'm going to imagine something offensively here. Let's see what's going on. Got some confusion here.
Looks like they might be, they're going for 2 now?
So, not sure what the call was, but a flag on Pennwood. Encroachment on Pennwood. And there we go, another silly mistake. This isn't even a frustration one. That's just a bumping into a guy at the line of scrimmage.
Makes
here.
Me frustrated.
Yeah. And now an opportunity here. I think it's a smart coaching decision when you get the opportunity. 1 yard and 2 yards, a big difference. Here's a handoff right up the middle and a flag. I think we're going to get a legal motion here on Khalil Greenwood. I can't say I've ever seen 3 tries to get a point after to go in and no live ball. False start. False start, illegal motion.
Now they're going to go back to the – they bring the kicking unit back out? Looks like they bring the kicking unit back out now.
A musical chair of some sort.
So it looks like they're still going for 2 here, and yes, indeed they are. It's a little throw from Wildcat, and it works. A slick little play from Academy Park. It's Eric Willis. We saw him take a snap as a wide receiver, little Wildcat before. This time they throw a different look at him, and he throws a 2-point conversion to Dre Kavanaugh. 8-0 is your score from Kerr Field as a dominant drive from Academy Park. But give credit to Pennwood. They did stop the big play in this drive. Academy Park just kind of relentlessly chunked it down the field, however.
Yeah, like you said, give credit to Pennwood for stopping the big play. They made Academy Park work for every yard that they got on this drive, except for the penalties, of course.
Right.
You can't give away the freebies. But they made this good Academy Park offense work for the yards that they were able to get on the ground. And it looks like it's going to be that type of game where you're going to have to earn every yard you get. Keep the penalties down to a minimum, and maybe you can force a turnover on downs or get Academy Park to punt the ball. Right now we have to reestablish our offense and get out there and drive the ball downfield. Keep that Academy Park defense on the field for a while.
It's still early on here. 4:37 to go in the first quarter. 8-0 is your score. And if you're Coach Troop here, you got to just stay true to your offense. Can't get ahead of yourself, because we've seen this before in other games with Pennwood. They do sometimes have a late push in the second half. You just can't go into that half down by an insurmountable amount.
No, you don't want to do that at all. Keep it close, fellas.
The height difference between these two teams is something to note. Thought he was going to go for a surprise kick there or something like that. We're all set for the kickoff, and the ball's off. Picked up early, but Pennwood ultimately winding up at the same place they started their last drive. Call this the 37-yard line for the Patriots.
Yeah, and hopefully they have a little bit more success going down the field on this drive. They're starting, like you said, virtually the same place that they started the last drive. And they started off having some success getting the ball out, running the ball to the outside, kicking out on the right side, and getting the ball moving up the middle. So we'll see if they can do a little bit more of that. Maybe put the ball in the air, something they don't do too much of. Maybe catch the Academy Park defense, catch them by surprise a little bit, catch them, sleeping on the pass. They know that Pennwood doesn't pass the ball much, so maybe you can catch them sleeping a little bit.
And that's what happened last week. I was watching a bit of the game recap, but I was saying at the top, the 53-yard pass to Halim Butler, and it just seemed like Chichester had no idea it was coming. And let's see.
Ooh.
Someone jumped. And it looks like it was Academy Park who just got a little anxious there and jumped the gun.
Yeah, it looked like that was 99% of Academy Park's defensive line that jumped right there. Must have been a hard count or something, because they all jumped at the same time. Had to put a hard count in there. But Academy Park, as you can see, Academy Park's setting up for the run. They're defending the run. All the guys they have in the box there, they're defending the run. One safety back. They're not expecting pass at all.
Handoff to Aaron Stevens, who gets tackled well behind the line of scrimmage, even behind the original line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 6 for the Pennwood Patriots. So right after you get the 5 from using the hard count, go back 6. There you go, a half step forward, 1 step back for the Patriots here.
And that's not something that can't happen. That's something that can't happen. You lose 6 yards after getting 5 on the penalty. You can't run the ball and lose 6 yards on that play. That's something that has to be fixed during this game, where it's going to be a long day.
Now 2nd and 11. Clark and Stevens in the backfield. Jayon Haley lined up in the slot. Watch out for him. He's looking Haley's way, but it's just batted down. Incomplete.
Ball falls harmlessly to the ground, incomplete.
And that's part of the dangers of having a quarterback who's just 5'6". And on the other end, you look at Academy Park. I'm looking at this roster. I'm seeing a lot of heights that start with 6.
and they're bringing them right up the middle. So, you got to get your quarterback. If you want to run the ball, if you want to pass the ball, you got to get that quarterback moving. You got to get him into some space. You're not going to be able to get that ball. He's not going to be able to pass it from the pocket. Get him out of the pocket, get him moving. Hopefully he can make some plays with his feet and make some throws on the run, because that's what's going to happen. Because those big guys are coming up in the middle and they're getting in his face. You're not going to be able to see over him.
3rd and 11. Cavalli and Clark still in the shotgun. Aaron Stevens to his left once again. 4 wide receivers for the Patriots. Clark rolling out to the left, throwing it up. Oh, and airmails it over the head of Halim Butler, his target from last week. And he was open there, Justin. It looked like they might have had a chance at first down, too.
Yeah, absolutely. He was open there. It was just an off-target throw by the quarterback. He got him into space, like I was saying, but they're going to have to do a little bit more of that, because the Academy Park defense is in the backfield very fast. So they're really going to have to get that quarterback out in space, give him some time to make plays, give the receivers some time to get out into space so they can get rid of the ball. Offensive line is just going to have to hold on to their blocks a half second to a second longer.
So it's Marquez Secor. The ball's away. It's a high one. And not a fair catch called. Academy Park. I believe that's Khalil Greenwood who got the punt and faked me out with a fake fair catch. Tackler on the 45-yard line.
A little lull him to sleep with I'll stand here, act like I did something, let everybody stop, and let me take off.
I think the ball was so high, everyone's eyes were on the ball, that by the time it got down, no one really knew if he had called a fair catch or not.
I didn't know. I was watching the ball, too. It's my job to watch the field, but the ball got up so high I couldn't help but to watch. I thought it was a fly ball.
So a better field position this time for Academy Park at the 45. I'm curious to see if they keep it on the ground again. You got Eric Willis, the man who played a little quarterback, or should I say wildcat last drive, next to Darrell Fields. Fields scrambling out of the pocket, throws on the run, hits his man, and he's dragged down, only a gain of 2. That was Joe Davis wrapped up there by Jayon Haley and Aaron Stevens.
And that's what you're going to have to see by this Pennwood defense. If somebody gets the ball into space, it's got to be more than one tackler, because this offensive juggernaut called Academy Park is looking to break tackles and get out into open space, get around people. So you got to swarm tackle, gang tackle. You got to beat the guy up. You got to beat him down, help him back up, and then knock him down again.
And that is the one good thing so far in this game Pennwood really has done. I said it after that first drive, but some of these plays here could easily have become game changers, 35-yard game-breaking runs. Pennwood been good with their tackling so far, and here's a handoff to Joe Davis. Davis plowing through tacklers here. That was on cue, Justin. Too many one-on-ones there, and Joe Davis is going to win those every time.
And he's keeping the legs moving. That's the one thing that you want to see your running back and any ball carrier, really, of that. You want to see them keeping their legs moving. As long as they're keeping their legs moving, they have an opportunity to keep that play going and extending the play, getting more yards. And that's just what he did there. After making the leap, he kept those legs moving, broke tackles, and got that first down.
Surprised we're not seeing a little more Ibrahim Sanogo. Maybe he's injured in this game. He's out Academy Park's leading rusher. Darrell Fields scrambles out of the pocket. He wants it all. He airs it out. He's got Khalil Greenwood. And, that's just great defense there by the Pennwood defender. That's Jamal Jackson knocking the ball right out of the hands of Khalil Greenwood. And maybe not a touchdown there, but it would have ended up right around the 1.
And I can see Jackson change his mind about 4 or 5 times. Is that was he going to play the ball? Was he going to try to knock it down, or was he going to try to get the interception? And luckily, the Academy Park receiver got his hands on the ball, and he was able to separate the man from the ball, which is what you want to do as a defensive back. Great job by Jackson.
Right, just textbook defending. I was nervous we were going to have a mossing from Khalil Greenwood early on in this first quarter.
No, we don't need that this early in the game.
No, sir. And once again, it's the combo of we got Fields and Davis. Goes right to Davis. Davis with a burst of speed up the middle, but a really good tackle there by the Pennwood defender. That was Jaleel Green with a very solid tackle. The damage was done. The first down was done. But Joe Davis, he likes keeping those legs moving. Great tackle.
Yeah, you got to keep the legs moving. Keep them churning. Keep on churning. Get that push. That's what leg day is for in the weight room.
1st and 10 from the Pennwood 26, maybe call it the 27. if you're Academy Park, I'd go right back to Davis. That seems to be really working here, and they do. Right up the middle between the tackles. This time, Pennwood a little bit quicker to get to it. Oh, and we got a punch thrown by the Pennwood defender. That's going to be a personal foul. Karan Chandler losing his cool.
Let's play nice in the field.
Yeah, that
His
might
day
be
is-
an ejection for him.
I was about to say his day might be done.
And I saw him prior to the game. He was out there firing everybody up, so I know he had his emotions involved in this game. Big time game, big time rivalry game. You gotta keep your emotions under control, and it's a hard thing to do when Academy Park comes to your house.
So
Ooh.
a break for Pennwood, and then
Yes.
I don't mean to.
So that was actually a case of the ref saw both guys.
I was just about to
You
say.
usually only see the second one, but they saw both guys though. So they offsetting personal fouls, a break for Pennwood on that. Break for Academy Park too.
And it looks like Chandler gets to stay in this game as well.
Coach hasn't put him back in yet, but we'll see. We'll see how Coach wants to handle that situation.
I'll be honest, I did not see the first offense. I really only caught.
It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on over there.
So a break for Pennwood there. It's a 2nd and 3. Another opportunity to stop this Academy Park defense. A little screen to Greenwood. Greenwood off the bubble screen. He's got room. A flag is thrown. Greenwood wrapped up around the 2 or 3 yard line, but we may have a holding here on Academy Park. A lot of laundry on the field, and it's just the first quarter so far. And it looks like we got a holding call. We got a holding on Academy Park. And this one's backing up. Another break for Pennwood here. We've seen it we've been talking about it. The discipline for Pennwood been an issue, but now going the other way and actually in their advantage.
No break for the Pennwood defense on that, as that play was a good play by Academy Park, throwing out into the flat.
See, the only advantage for Academy Park is the holding is called, it's a spot foul. So I believe the holding was spotted around the 12-yard line downfield. So not the worst for Academy Park, setting up just a 2nd and 5 for them. I can't quite see the number from here. I think that's Darian Ford lined up next to Darryl Fields. And no, it is Davis once again, who's wrapped up. He spins his way close to the marker, and it looks like he's marked just short, where it'll set up a 3rd and inches scenario here.
And Pennwood playing a lot of one-on-one defense out there, and I want to see. I'm seeing that Academy Park's not doing a lot of throwing the ball downfield as of yet. Don't know if that they do a whole bunch of that, as it's our first time seeing them this season, but there's a lot of one-on-one coverage out there, and it's something you might want to take a look at going forward and going into the second quarter.
And that was the last play of our first quarter. Academy Park, it's been all Academy Park here. They lead 8-0. Pennwood just 1 first down to show for so far in this game, and Academy Park is driving. So we'll switch fields here. Academy Park will head over right to left, and we'll take a short break. Stick with us right here at Sports Fan Base Network. Welcome back on into Kirk Field. Sports fan base
Back to
network
the action on the
coverage of
field.
Academy Park versus the Pennwood Patriots. Join us,
31
Academy
for
Park up
the
8-0.
Knights.
They have the ball on the 20-yard line here. It's Daryl Fields taking it himself.
Keeper up the middle.
That's going to be
Looks
good
like
enough
it's
for a
enough
first
for
down.
a
Called a
Knights
3-yard gain.
first down.
Gives the Knights a fresh set of downs.
Coming into the second quarter, just getting the push up the middle, getting that first down. They didn't want to come out and do nothing special. Just get that push, get the first down, get a fresh set of downs, and have them reestablish that offensive push that they've been having all day.
Academy Park Knights just content to keep it on the ground so far in this one. I believe they completed 2 passes in this. One being a bubble screen, the other being looked like a little RPO. Neither of them going for big.
Ball on the
Now
15-yard
this time looks
line,
like they are
going
going
right to
for a pass.
left.
Greenwood in motion, fakes the handoff to Greenwood, and he's got room right up the middle, pushes off the defender, and he falls forward for a
Quarterback
touchdown. That's
keeper,
Daryl
number
Fields,
6
who
with
faked
the
the handoff to
6.
Greenwood, the motion man, and just took it straight up the gut. It
Daryl
looked like an
Fields.
opponent, or excuse me, a Penwood defender touched him until around the 3-yard line, and he was able to just fall into the end zone.
Arm tackles and single tackles aren't going to do it against this Academy Park team. And number 75 and 76 on the Academy Park offensive line, they're really just bearing down and running right behind those guys. Those guys are getting an amazing push up the middle. As I'm getting attacked by a bumblebee over here.
And it's Eric Willis with that little wildcat. Looks like the
There's
same
carry
play. He
and
throws it
the
again.
pass to the left
And
corner,
that's
and
going to be a
it's good
2-point
for
conversion
2.
again for Academy
Giving the
Park.
Knights
The same exact
16
play they
on
ran
the
on the other
day.
side of the last touchdown, this time just to the other side. And Eric Willis, wide receiver, looks like a little gadget play though. The Wildcat quarterback gets it done.
Bears in the building.
Yes, Academy Park goes up by 16 in this game. As I said, it's a rivalry game. It's been a battle all day. The score doesn't tell the whole story. It's really been a battle so far in this game. And you know, as Academy Park continues to get the push and continues to dominate offensively and defensively in this game, I'm interested in seeing how Pennwood is going to respond going forward into this game. And you know, being that they've been a winless team this year, but they've shown heart all through the games that they've been in. And this is a rivalry. Nobody wants to be able to go back home today and their friends or their rivals over at their rival school are able to have bragging rights. Nobody wants to have your rival at school to have bragging rights. And so I continue to expect to see Pennwood putting up a fight today.
Time for Pennwood to put up that fight.
Back to the action on the
Big
field.
play from Jayon Haley or Aaron Stevens here going all the way. Academy Park doing a nice job of almost the
If there's one thing we know how to
short
do is
line
have a good
drive.
party, y'all.
And there it is again, but this time watch out. Here comes Jayon Haley. He gets it on the bounce. Looking for a blocker,
second,
doesn't really
coming
get any. Kind of just bounces
Good
off the
for
tackle
him.
easily. This time
Nice.
and goes down.
Nice
You got to
return
wrap
by
him up.
Jayon
You try to
Haley.
hit him, just kind of spear him. Like, that's what these guys are doing here. That's not going to work with a guy like Jayon Haley.
No, not at all. He's going to get out there and he's going to get around you. You can't be an arm tackle. You have to wrap him up and you got to alligator tackle him. You got to wrap him up and twist, and you got to take the legs out, which happened just now. But you know, if you're not taking the legs out, he's got a good base to him, good balance to him, and great speed. He can make you miss too. So you really got to be aggressive on attack. You can't wait for him to come to you. You got to get after him.
And this is exactly what I was going to ask Justin. I was wondering if they're trying to not tip their hand. Jayon Haley, now you're at 16-0. You got to get the ball in his hands. And if it's him taking Wildcat snaps, so be it. Here he is in the Wildcat. He scrambles out the left side. Looks like he's looking to make a pass. He tosses it. He's wide open.
He's got a man.
Oh, and it's a drop from Karan Chandler. Oh, my goodness. Pennwood had a surefire touchdown. All 11 defenders from Academy Park were keyed in on Jayon Haley, but folks, there's a flag anyway. it may not matter. That may have just made the pain a little bit less.
Now
If you're a Pennwood supporter here.
he needs to forget that he dropped that pass, because I guarantee you right now, he heard it from the sideline over there at Academy Park. He's hearing it from Academy Park bench. He might be hearing it from his own guys. You got to make that catch, and that's one of the hardest catches to make, is the one where you're by yourself and you know you should score on it.
We actually did have a holding on Pennwood. So, if you're a Pennwood fan, you can breathe a little bit easier knowing that a touchdown would have been negated.
Breathing easier with frustration.
In the same breath, you're now 10 yards back, setting up a 1st and 20, and we've hammered this point home. If you're Pennwood, you don't like passing the ball, as you saw. One might be one of the few passes this entire game you just saw. 1st and 20 is a mountain to climb for this offense. Clark's back there behind center. Should I say the gun? Looked like it was almost a direct snap to Lawrence. Not sure if that was a miscommunication. But regardless, they're going to get backed up another couple yards. Set up about a 2nd and 22 here.
You see what I'm talking about there with by the time wherever the ball was being snapped to, by the time he got the ball, the defense was right there in his face. The offense, we got to do a better job as the offensive line of keeping those guys behind. But like you said, those guys on Academy Park, those are some big dudes up there. Those are some big strong kids, and they're fast too. So, it's easier said than done. It's easier for me to say, hold your blocks, as I'm up here with a microphone on. I don't have to block anybody today, but these guys got to protect their teammates. You want to get your offense going, and it starts with you.
Still rocking with Cavalier and Clark back there. He takes a snap, rolls out of the gun, throws it, actually makes a good play. But another drop here for Pennwood. So it's 2 plays we've seen actually schemed very nicely. This time, Cavalier and Clark hits Halim Butler. Last of the drive, we saw Halim Butler open, but thrown over top of him. But it's Halim Butler here. I'm not even sure if he saw it. The ball kind of just bounced off his chest.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough right there. And you want to give your quarterback some confidence in throwing the ball to you. So really want to come up with those passes. And if you're able to make those plays, the coach might put a few more passing plays in there. You might be able to take advantage of a few things, as Academy Park has really, up until this point, has really been protecting against the run.
3rd and 20, and it looks like we got a flag here, an offensive lineman jump by the looks of things. And yep, that is what they're going to call. Setting up a 3rd and 25 here for the Patriots.
False start.
Yep, it is a false start.
Patriots.
Now you got to get. You might just want to run it here when you're backed up, the shadow of your own end zone, inside your own 10. Looks like they got him at the 8-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, run it here and punt it on the next down, because you don't want to risk a turnover at this part of the field, especially being down 16.
3rd and 32. The scoreboard reads, and they are passing it. Haley and Clark narrowly dodges a safety, but is ultimately just wrapped up for a sack at the 5-yard line. Jayon Haley extremely frustrated after that drive, but I can't say I blame him. He knew he had a potential touchdown to start that drive. Instead, ended with a 4th and 32.
The Patriots.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating when you're out there, you're putting all the work in, you put in all the work all week, and, you're not getting the results that you're expecting on the weekend on game day. It can be a frustrating thing, but what you got to do is you got to bear down, and you got to trust yourself and trust your teammates and really put forth the effort and continue to fight.
Marquez Secor with a punt, and it's blocked, but I should say tipped. Actually, it was kind of looked like a very good punt there, but it went off the fingertips of the Academy Park Special Teams unit and goes straight out of bounds around the 30-yard line.
It'll be marked at the 30-yard line.
Right at the 30-yard line, indeed. And, I hate to say it, but I think Penn caught a break there. You could have easily been looking at 2 points or even 6 points for Academy Park.
Yeah, and this is great field position for Academy Park in the offense that they've been running. Pennwood hasn't been able to stop them thus far in this game. So.
Going right to left, 9:16 left before halftime from the 30.
Fields has it in the gun, throws right a slant over the middle.
Pass.
And that's going to be a 1st down as 2 men bring down Darian.
Number 8 on the reception, Darian Ford.
And as the Academy Park offense moving the ball through, they're getting the quick passes off. They're not waiting for plays to develop. They're getting rid of the ball quickly, not giving the Pennwood defense a chance to recover, even read what they're doing on the field. Getting rid of the ball quickly, dinking and dunking up the field, making things happen.
Just under 9 minutes to play here in the second half. A 1st and 10. Excuse me, in the second quarter. Fields hands it off to Davis. Davis has a hole, powers forward, keeps those legs moving, and he's finally brought down at, let's call it, the 5-yard line.
Running the ball behind number 50, and I believe it was number 75 of the Academy Park offensive line. Those guys are getting amazing push. Those are some big, strong kids up there, and that's a big factor in the success of the running game of the Academy Park Knights.
Yeah, and that's the junior Nevin Bruton, 6'4", and they do not have his weight listed there. The left tackle for Academy Park, the big fella. And we're gonna get a whistle.
Referee's whistle indicates a timeout.
We got a timeout.
I would list his weight as don't be on the other side of the ball from him.
Well, we got a timeout from Pennwood, so we got a stoppage in play. We're going to take a brief break here, and we'll be right back at Kerr Field. Welcome back on into Kerr Field. 8 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. Academy Park driving, has it 2nd and goal here from the 5. Fields looking, and it looks like he's got an open lane to the end zone. Oh, but a little bit of a push here, and it's touchdown for Darrell Fields. It looked like he had a wide open lane, and on the far end of this field, can't exactly tell who it was from Pennwood who had the late break. I believe it was Marquez Secor there who had the late break on Fields, but all for naught. Fields dives in for the pylon, and it's 22-0 now for Academy Park.
Yeah, nobody was accountable for the quarterback on that play, or at least it didn't look like anybody was accountable for the quarterback on that play. And that's really one of the first plays that we've seen where the quarterback actually kept the ball, running the ball for Academy Park. So they were not set up for that in this situation.
Oh, and it's a dropped snap. And let's see what the call is. No, they're going to say he went out of bounds before he snuck the ball over the pylon. That would have been absolutely deadly for Pennwood when even something goes right for them. It almost went wrong. Heads-up play there by Eric Willis, shades of Tony Romo in the playoffs there with the drop snap, trying to make lemonade out of lemons.
That was
but the referee said he just stepped out of bounds. What's that?
That was a fortunate call for the Pennwood Patriots on that. I'm not disagreeing with the call, but from our angles are always a little bit different, so I'm not going to say too much. But a fortunate break for the Patriots on that.
So the score is now 22-0. Just under 8 minutes left here in quarter number 2. Pennwood, they need to put points on the board this drive before things start getting out of hand.
Yeah, 22-0. It's on the verge of getting out of hand. Pennwood needs to make something happen, like you said. This is crucial time. This is a crucial drive, crucial possession for Pennwood coming up.
If you're Coach Troop here, by any means necessary, get Jayon Haley involved.
Got to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers here.
Whether it's Wildcat, whether it's some screens, whether it's just some straight handoffs, Jayon Haley needs to get the ball in his hands in this game. And here comes the kickoff. It's off, and that's going to that man, Jayon Haley. Haley looking for a block to develop, but never really gets anything going. And he ends up getting wrapped up at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what Coach Troop does to get the ball up the field really in this situation. They've shown that they can move the ball against this defense. They just got to be able to make some plays, make some catches too. And those 2 drop balls really hurt the offense on the last drive. But Pennwood has shown that they can move the ball. See if they can get back into that groove.
So let's see how Pennwood lines up here. Where will Jayon Haley be going? They're still rocking with Cavalli and Clark. But this time it looks like Jayon Haley kind of in a fullback position. Keep an eye out on that.
Truth from the booth is the man in the stands today.
Clark hands it off to Stevens, and he's immediately met at the line of scrimmage. Should I say behind the line of scrimmage? Make that a loss of 2. Set up a 2nd and 12 for the Patriots.
Yeah, this Knight defense has been brutal on this Pennwood offensive line today. They've just been really getting everything they've wanted to get.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but we talked about the size of these 2 teams, and without a doubt, Academy Park has the size advantage. But actually on the defensive line, I don't see. It's not like their offensive line, right? They got a huge offensive line, but this defensive line looks like it matches up in physicality with Pennwood, just based on the eye test.
It looks like they want to put a little bit more speed on the offensive line there to deal with plays like this. Wildcat plays, option plays. You want to have some speed on your defensive line. Well,
that was perfectly timed. You're talking about speed. Ibrahim Sanogo, a little too much speed there, a little bit early. Or no. My mistake. They're calling a false start against Pennwood here. Wow.
Yeah, I missed that one. I didn't see that one happen. Of course, they're closer than we are, but they blew the play dead, so it must be real.
Man, they must have heard us. They were thinking about that speed, thinking about it a little too much. Clearly, Ibrahim Sanogo has some real estate in the head of the Pennwood offensive line, as they got a little jumpy there. 6:45 left in quarter number 2. 2nd and 16 here. And since the first 3 downs, Pennwood has not had a positive play. Clark hands it off to Haley. Haley bursts through the first wave of defenders, but just gets gang tackled right at the line of scrimmage, setting up 3rd and 16. That time we saw a pretty standard handoff to Jayon Haley, something I've been calling for, but maybe a handoff isn't the way to go. It's the classic high school football philosophy of run the snap to your quarterback, because then you have a man on a man, you get an extra blocker. And it looks like the way Academy Park is playing, that's what you have to do in this one, is get every blocker you can.
Yeah, you got to kind of play the game of numbers. Get matched up on the block and let your quarterback deal with the safety.
Clark has it. He dodges a sack, airs it out. Not sure who he's looking for. And the ball bounces off a few guys and never really had a chance to get to anyone. If I'm going to be honest, Justin, I don't think Cavalli and Clark had a receiver picked out.
No, I think he threw it to an area. They had 2 receivers there in the area. He knew where the play was going. So he was able to put the ball in the area and just, kind of hope for the best. Hope that the defense did not get a hand on, which they did, but they were not able to get 2 hands on it, if you know what I'm saying. And that comes with the young quarterback, the youth at the position. He knows what the play is and he knows where his guys are supposed to be. So without knowing whether or not I have a guy open there or can I throw a guy open, he's going to put it into the area of where the guy should be and hope a play gets made. And you see that a lot, like I said, with the young quarterbacks.
Pennwood having a hard time figuring out their personnel. Now it seems like they had everything settled. It's Marquez Secor for the punt. Gets a good one away this time. That's what's going to bounce off of Khalil Greenwood. Muffed it a little bit, but now he corrals it. We got a holding call on Academy Park. And that's a great way. That's just good special teams that time from Pennwood.
Absolutely.
And I believe Academy Park's going to set up at the 18-yard line after this holding call.
It was a great punt, and it was an end-over-end punt. So as soon as it hit the ground, it shot towards the end zone. And I was actually kind of surprised that the Academy Park returner put his hands on it, tried to stop it on the bounce. It's probably the only chance he really had, but the ball got away from him. He's lucky that the punt was so good that there were not any Pennwood special teamers there to recover the ball.
I was just going to say beforehand, the way Marquez Secor has been punting the super high kicks, the weird hops. He's thinking a big opportunity for Pennwood might be a muff punt or something from the special teams here, and it was almost just what the doctor ordered, but ball might have been punted even too far because not enough time for the Patriots to get back there and take advantage of a muff kick.
Yeah, probably best punt of the year, and it's like, oh, how come you didn't punt it a little bit shorter so we could have got the ball back? That was absolutely the best punt of the year that we've seen here from the Pennwood special teams, from the punting unit.
Just waiting on the officiating team to back it up.
It had to be a holding call, right? That's where the ball was. They're moving the sticks up. Are they going to repunt the ball?
Huh.
That was after.
Maybe they're going to pick up the flag here?
It looks like they're moving the sticks up. They're going to move the ball forward, it looks like.
Well, I'm a bit confused here. We'll keep you updated.
They may be repunting this ball.
There's 5.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter in case viewers back home thought maybe we had halftime or something of that sort here.
From the way it
Oh,
looks,
there's another flag that I missed, actually. There's another flag around the line of scrimmage.
they're going to back them up.
Yeah, so actually they might be repunting this, called up offsetting penalties and repunt. A shame for Pennwood here. They can't seem to catch a break.
Nullifying the best punt of the season. At least the best punt that we've seen.
It's confusion everywhere. We got 2 refs standing by where the punt ended. We got 2 refs standing by the flag where the punt started. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think they're still trying to sort it out.
It's injured quarterback Jason Kemp being talked to by the referee. I can't figure out what's going on. I don't think the refs can figure out what's going on.
Wait a minute. Okay, now we're going back down the field, it looks like. This is what you call interesting.
So, look, I'm assuming here. We all know what they say about assuming, but I think this is a safe assumption. We got a penalty on Pennwood. We got a penalty on Academy Park. They said offsetting penalties, and I think they originally thought that meant replay the down. But I think they're just going to call it down where he was tackled, offsetting penalties, end of story, first down Academy Park around the 30-yard line. Or no.
Here's what happened.
They picked up the flag.
Here's what happened, because here's what happened. I think both penalties were against Academy Park. There was a holding penalty up here after the kick, and then there was a holding penalty down here at the where the tackle was. The penalty after the kick got declined. Pennwood declined that penalty, and they're taking the penalty at the tackle.
And this, by the way, I don't know, this isn't a correct spot after all that. And here's a handoff to Joe Davis. He jukes out and gets a 6 or 7 yard play, and I'm almost positive that is not a correct spot for the record.
Yeah, I don't think that was the correct spot. If you're bringing the penalty into play, that was not the correct spot.
Right, but hey, we march on after all that. Just glad to be playing some football here. 2nd and 3 now for Academy Park, and they're content to just keep going up the gut with a big offensive line like that. Darryl Fields fakes one way, screens it over to Khalil Greenwood. Greenwood comes all the way around east to west, but then makes it north to south as he pushes ahead for about, they're going to give him 8 yards on that play for an easy first down.
I saw just on this play a dream scenario for a defensive lineman that the defensive lineman didn't take advantage of. As the play was coming back across in the backfield, the quarterback went and laid a block down on the defensive lineman. That was that defensive lineman's chance to just blow the quarterback up on the block, but he didn't take advantage. Probably didn't recognize it was the quarterback, but that's what you really want to do.
Well, yeah, the quarterback might be the tallest, biggest guy at the skill positions on the offense for Academy Park. Another handoff for Joe Davis, and he's got a burst. He's going to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and he's going to find Painter. Another great run for Joe Davis, and just a gashing hole by that Academy Park offensive line. That's been the story of this game for Pennwood, is trying to stop Joe Davis, and it looks like they just don't have an answer. That was, what, a 70 or 60-plus yard run to make this a 28-0 game. No flags on the field this time. A touchdown for Joe Davis in Academy Park.
It's like we said earlier, arm tackles are not going to make it happen. Arm tackles aren't going to do it. And single tackles aren't going to do it. He keeps moving, he keeps running, he's hard to take down. Got to gang up on him, and I don't think he was touched more than twice on that play.
28-0, and they're going for it. It was a crazy reverse play, and it looked way too easy there. A 30-0 game. It was Kenneth Asong who ran it in there. And just like that, this game has really started getting away from the Pennwood Patriots.
Yeah, this is not the place where they want to. This is not a place any team wants to be. At this point of the game, it's a 30-0 with 4 minutes left in the half. It's 30-0 the game against your rival at home. And this is where you got to dig in and get some little victories and build them up right now. You got to get some positives and build on the positives. And we got to see how Pennwood is going to be able to make that happen. One way is trying to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers, which I know they're trying to do that. But we got to get a better push from the offensive line. The offensive line has got to keep the Academy Park defense out of the backfield. Give your running back some time, give your quarterback some time to make something happen. Develop some plays, open up some holes. It's things that have to. These are things that have to be done to even have any semblance of chance of not only coming back in this game, but just putting points on the board. Period.
Now, Justin, if you're Pennwood here, do you keep trying to air it out? Because I mean, this is the most I've seen them attempt passes. They've been really putting a lot of faith here in Cavalier and Clark, and it just doesn't seem to be working here. And yeah, I know down 30-0 conventionally, you keep throwing it, but it's just not working.
You're right. And conventionally, football thought you're saying we're down 30-0, we got to get the ball through the air. But you got to remember, you're talking about high school football, you're talking about a young quarterback and a young team overall. And, putting the ball through the air really may not be the answer for this offense. As you see, Jayon Haley getting up
breaks
the
a couple tackles. Now he's got some room, and he's tackled by a couple defenders there around the 40-yard line. That's exactly what we've been calling for here in the booth, is more of Jayon Haley when he's touching the ball. Good things happen for Pennwood. Maybe not touchdowns right now, but at least positive yardage.
And as you see, the ball got to him on the kickoff, and over the last few weeks, teams have been keeping the ball away from Jayon Haley, as he had a kick return a few weeks ago. I want to say it was against Downingtown when he opened up the game with a kick return, took it to the house. They know keep the ball away from him, and that's what Academy Park has been doing up until the last couple of kickoffs.
And here he is. He's under center, should I say, in the gun for the Patriots. Valiant Clark now lined up as a receiver. Bad snap. Runs right into Academy Park defender, but jukes out of it. Gets a nice gain of 3, or call it 4 yards for Pennwood, and this is what they've been missing so far in this game. Some positive plays from Jayon Haley.
Absolutely. I want to see Haley protecting that ball a little better when he's in crowded conditions, and especially when he's being tackled. We saw, a few weeks back, Downingtown was going after the ball. They were practicing. You could tell they practiced stripping the ball, going after the turnovers. Fortunate for Pennwood this time, Academy Park doesn't look like they're looking to rip the ball out of the ball carrier's hands, but eventually somebody will look to punch the ball out, rip the ball out. You got to have the 5 points of contact.
3.5 minutes to go here in the half, and it's Pennwood's best field position of the day. Convelian Clark back in. Stevens, the motion man. Oh, and they went for a touch pass. That should be a pass, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be incomplete. Incomplete, yeah. So I believe the ref originally ruled it a fumble, but after everyone kind of had a moment to think about it, it's the MC taking a shot at the referees here. Gotta know your football, folks. 3rd and 7 here. A dangerous play, but that's the advantage of running that little sweep touch pass. Is if you do have a miscommunication, no harm, no foul here. Just a loss of down, not a loss of the ball.
Or yards of that matter. And I always said, I always felt like in the game of football, if you pass the ball behind the line of scrimmage, it should be a live ball all the time. But fortunately, in this situation, that wasn't the case.
Valiant Clark still playing quarterback here. He's got it. Ibrahim Sanogo, free man, breaks away, but runs out of bounds 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage here.
Now, that's about 3 or 4 plays in a row where I've seen Sonogo getting off the edge of the line unblocked. And there has to be somebody has to you have to figure out the way to keep him out of the backfield, because once he's back there, he disrupts everything that Pennwood has going on. So you have to get a block on him, keep him nudge him, edge, whatever you have to do, you have to keep him out of the backfield at least for a second. Got to make something happen because he's disturbing everything that you want to do.
Yeah, it's something I'm going to keep an eye on for the next play, because you're right. That's 3rd, 4th play in a row. It almost feels like more that he's come on the edge just untouched. I honestly got to give Clark credit for it. And I'm not sure if it was Sonogo who got in the backfield and Jayon Haley took the Wildcat snap, but there was a defender who came in absolutely unblocked, the shades of Hassan Reddick in that Eagles-Panthers game a couple weeks ago. And it's not a matter of – it doesn't look like Academy Park's throwing 7-8 guys at the Pennwood defensive line. Looks like 4 or 5 guys. I don't know if that's a miscommunication or what going on here. So that's something we'll keep an eye out for you as we see a big 4th and 10 from Pennwood here. It looks like they are indeed going for it. And at this point in the game, you don't really have much of an option either.
No, you got to go for it here. You're down 30-0. You really have nothing to lose at this point. And you're in part of the field where you can afford to go for it. So make it happen.
Kavalian Clark has in the gun. Once again, unblocked, Ibrahim Sonogo. Now Kavalian Clark's running. He's got room. He's got a first down, and he scampers out of bounds for Pennwood's 2nd first down of this game. And that's a key play. Nice awareness there by Kavalian Clark. Once again, Ibrahim Sonogo, untouched though.
Untouched, always coming off that side. Now, that's fine. You can come off that side if you're going to run the ball to the left side. But if you're looking to come to his side, you better put somebody in front of him, because he's coming through unscathed, untouched, unbothered, and the quarterback will be unprotected if you drop back the pass.
It looks like Sonogo, I don't know if he was instructed or he just thought to do it, but he was going for a contain there. I thought maybe he could have had a chance at the sack, but he was nervous about the slipperiness of Kavalian Clark. Now they're bringing the rush, and let's see, are they going to call this a false start or an offsides? Last time this happened, I was sure it was an offsides. The referee called it a false start. This time I'll just wait for the signal. And it is offsides. They're going to go with encroachment even. 1st and 5 for Pennwood. 3 minutes left in the first half. A little 6 here. Just what the doctor ordered for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a good feeling sometimes, you know.
Even when you got a tough mountain to climb the rest of the way, finding the end zone, always good feeling. I mean, Pennwood shut out last week against Chichester, so it's been a while since they found the end zone.
It's been a little while. It's been a couple weeks, and this is a nice time to put one in against your rivals.
Clark, no one next to him in the gun. Once again, Sonogo untouched. He evades it. Clark running, and out of all of that, just for about a gain of 1, if that.
Can we figure out a way to get number 1 blocked? He's causing so much trouble back there. We have to get somebody over there to edge him, at least get him to run around somebody, because he's coming right off the edge of the line, untouched. And, it's disturbing everything that's happening with the Pennwood offense.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get a lot developing when you have less than a second to get the ball out of your hands, especially for a guy, like I've said, Kavalian Clark, 5'6", probably not seeing the entire field the best. And let's see what they're going with here. It is Clark once again. No one around him. You might want to consider bringing a running back there just to help block. Now he's going under center. Haley, motion man. It's a pitch play to Haley. Haley finds a hole. He's got room. Stiff arms. Lowers a shoulder. That's going to be a first down. I thought for a moment he had a lane for the touchdown.
And as they ran the ball to that side, what did they do? They got somebody to block Sonogo. He wasn't able to make anything happen on that play. It's probably the first time he's been blocked in about 2 drives. So I don't even think he was expecting to be blocked on that play. Play comes to his side. They were able to get around him and get the first down. That was a great job by the Pennwood offense. Great call by the coaches.
I was just about to say, yeah, great call by Coach Troop there, giving Academy Park a look they haven't seen all game, and probably one they don't see very often. I can't say I've seen the wide receiver toss run very often, especially at this level, so smart thinking there. Now Jayon Haley, he's lined up on the right side. Cavalian Clark in the gun. Clark rolling to the left. Looks like a designed run, and he kind of just slips.
And on that play, Sanogo went to the other side of the line, and he actually dropped back into coverage.
And let's see, we got a timeout, I believe, from the Pennwood side, trying to stop the clock as we get under a minute to go here in the first half. Pennwood have the ball at the 16-yard line, and it looks like they got a 2nd and 15 here. This has been a picture-perfect drive for the Patriots, but they may have just shot themselves in the foot big time.
Maybe they got to recover now. They got to recover. They made their bed, and now they got to sleep in it. I like to say that saying backwards. They made their bed now. Now they got to sleep in it. So, get up here, make up these yards, get back in the groove. You can actually still get a first down on this drive. So, get yourself back into what I would like to say positive yardage, and go ahead and get that first down and get into the end zone. Let's punch it in.
I'd like to see 3 plays here. In 3 plays to number 7.
And they're keying on him. They don't want him to be if anybody beats they don't want it to be Haley. So, that's the story of the Patriots. Don't let Haley beat you. Force everybody else to make a play. And Haley has had a little bit more success later on in this game than he had early in the game.
I got my eyes on Ibrahim Sanogo here, and there he is once again. This time he gets a touch. Now there is Jayon Haley. Haley looking to make a man miss. Oh, man. It's rare you see Jayon Haley get tackled by the first defender. You got to give credit there. That's Annis Hunter, who brought him down first try. Hunter last week had a pick 6. Actually kicks as well for Academy Park. Kind of a do-it-all man for the Knights. Running a hurry-up now. Cavalian Clark has it. He's looking to throw. No one open. Now he throws it in the end zone to nobody, and that ball's intercepted. Not sure who Cavalian Clark saw. Not sure exactly who he was going to, but it ends up in the hands of Jasir Davis. And just like that, the best drive of the day ends in the hands of Academy Park, and that'll just about end the half here. A touchback for the Knights, and now there's just 17 seconds to go.
It looked like he might have been looking for Aaron Stevens, but he threw it way behind the receiver on that play, and didn't even really – Aaron Stevens didn't really have a chance to recollect himself and get to the ball. And as you saw, even on the play, Academy Park defender slipped trying to get back to where the ball was thrown. So, it was a tough play to make if you're Aaron Stevens, and a tough situation for the Patriots.
And just a kneel from Academy Park, content to bring it into halftime. And going into half, the score is your Academy Park Knights 30 and your Pennwood Patriots nothing. Couldn't quite find the scoreboard to end the half there. So now at least 6 consecutive quarters of scoreless football for Pennwood Patriots, and a long hill to climb if Pennwood looks to avoid their 10th consecutive loss in 2 straight seasons. It's Josh Safran and Justin Watson, the Sports Fan Base Network, bringing you the call of Pennwood versus Academy Park. We're going to go into halftime, so we will take a break here, and we'll be back with the second half of action. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on into Sports Fan Base Network's coverage of Academy Park at Pennwood Patriots here from Kerr Field. I'm Josh Saffron alongside Justin Watson, and if you're just joining us, it has been all Academy Park. They come into the second half with a stranglehold on this game, leading 30-0. And that's not to say there has been some positives from Pennwood. The last drive, Pennwood got it down to the goal line, and there was just a last-second Cavalian Clark interception thrown on third down, kind of a panic-induced throw, and that was where we left off in the first half. A lot of passing attempts from Pennwood, or should I say a lot more than we're accustomed to seeing from this offense. Usually a very run-heavy, wildcat, kind of rock 'em, sock 'em offense, but they've been trying to throw some wrinkles here at Academy Park, but to no avail, and kicking off certainly doesn't do them any favors either to start the second half. A mountain to climb, to say the least, Justin.
Yeah, to say the very least, a mountain to climb, and you know, a 30-0 game. Unfortunately, you know, this is not unfamiliar territory for this year's team. I mean, like I've said all year, it's a young team. They're going to have their growing pains. They got a lot of learning to do. So, and especially against your rival team, I don't expect anybody to sit down and just roll over at this point. Right now, you're talking about a crosstown rival who's one of the better teams in the state normally, and it's still going to be a battle as we get into the third quarter.
And we're kicked off here to start the second half. A return from Khalil Greenwood, a little burst of speed, and he ends up getting thrown to the ground around the 43, 44-yard line, and that's where Academy Park will start with the ball to start this second half here. The sun's come out a little bit here. It's actually a beautiful day here in Yeadon, Pennsylvania. Yeadon or Yaden? I messed it up last week. Yaden.
Yaden,
Gotta get that one.
Yeah, it's Yeadon, Pennsylvania. I would have said it a little subtly later on just to have it in the air. Don't even worry about it.
So Academy Park starts with the duo of Darrell Fields and Joe Davis, a duo that's been running roughshod on the Pennwood defense all day. Darrell Fields drops back to pass here in the gun. He airs it out, and he's got his man. Thrown down at the 8-yard line, Eric Willis. A pitch and catch from Fields to Willis. First play from scrimmage here in the second half. A nightmare scenario for the Patriots.
Not the situation you wanted to be in coming out of halftime with Academy Park getting a big chunk play. They've avoided the chunk plays all first half, and Academy Park comes out first play of the second half with a big chunk play, getting in the red zone and almost to the 10-yard line.
That was a great throw there by Darrell Fields. I thought for a moment he may have underthrown it. And we're right back in action. Joe Davis takes the handoff, and he gets nothing. A rare sight for Academy Park. Joe Davis not breaking on a big run there.
Yeah, stoppage up the middle. We haven't seen a lot of that to this what are we in? Afternoon? This afternoon.
We're in the afternoon now.
It started in the morning. Now we're in the afternoon. Haven't seen a lot of that from the Pennwood defense stopping the run up the middle, but they were able to do it this time. Hopefully they can get some more of it, get some positive out of it.
It's a 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line. Davis has it bumped, bounces outside, now cuts back in, keeps his legs moving. And there's another touchdown for Joe Davis. And the Academy Park Knights thought for a moment they were going to mark him just short. They're going to say he crossed the plane. And just like that, 36-0 is the score here at Kerr Field.
Yeah, and it looked like one side of the field you had the ref looking to mark him short. Then on this side of the field, the close side of the field to us, the referee called it a touchdown. So, seeing it from different perspectives.
Now 36-0. Looks like they're going to go for a kick. That's Annis Hunter. He's had a great game kicking, and it's cornerback. And it's up and good. Not the prettiest, but he knows how to get that extra point after. So that'll make it a 37-0 game here. If you're Pennwood, you don't want to have this scoreless streak continue. Don't want to hit Pennwood while they're down, but I think it's safe to say a win is not really in the cards today, but you can have things to build off of. You can take positive off of this game. And if you're Academy Park, you've already matched your total from last week. They won 37-10 against Interborough last week. Now there's still, let's call it 23 minutes to go in this game, and you've already matched your total from last game.
Yeah, and the Academy Park, you already know that they're going to be coming in. They're going to be looking to score, continue to score, especially against this Pennwood team. And, you know, they're looking for you know, some positioning in the playoffs. So what they do from here on out, you know, they have one more week of the regular season. I know Pennwood is going to Interboro next week. Academy Park wants to get themselves established and get themselves moving, you know, getting ready for the playoff push.
Well, definitely going to be helping them here in the points differential category, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a game that, like you said, they scored. It was 37-10 last week against Interboro. Pennwood goes to see Interboro next week as we get ready for the kickoff here. And, you know, to finish up the season next week, Pennwood at Interboro. And it's going to be interesting to see how that game turns out with two teams really, you know, battling to reestablish their programs.
And here comes the kick. It almost looks like a little pooch kick.
Fall on it.
And they just barely fall on it. Almost looked like that was by design there. A heads-up play by Ibrahim Sonogo, who, after he was relieved of his kicking duties, I'm sure we'll see him unblocked from the edge. Coming right here.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'm hoping that the Pennwood coaches address that. You know, in the halftime, the extended halftime we have, as this is senior day here at Kerr Field.
It's Cavalian Clark in the gun. He's got Aaron Stevens lined up next to him. And a fumble here. And Cavalian Clark able to hold on to it. Looks like he just didn't know what the play was.
I'm not sure if that was a design fake or if it was, you know, a miscommunication. Not really sure on that one. It looked like it looked like he was trying to pull the ball out. I think, but it looked like the running back had other ideas and he thought he was keeping the balls. I'm not sure what that miscommunication was or that miscue. But they need to get that settled up and going into the second down and get these yards back.
2nd and 13 now. Penwood got their work cut out for them. It's Clark in the gun once again. This time they get the fake to work. He airs it out. Jayon Haley's looking for it, but way over his head and just out of the reach of the fingertips of Taquan Cuff. Cuff had himself a good game this far, looking to add an interception to his stat sheet.
Yeah, you just want to add up and add up. But what they did good there, and I don't know if it was by design or not, they got the quarterback out into space. You know, the protection hasn't been the greatest today. So they're getting him out to some space, getting him into an area where he can make a play. So we give him some time to make a play, and he's not under duress in the pocket the entire time.
Yeah, I think that was by design because it looked like Clark had 15 yards of running room ahead of him, and he had it in his head already. He was airing the ball out. And I respect the decision. I mean, you're down 37-0. You want to hit that big shot, big play, get something going. But that time, Jayon Haley just couldn't get some separation. Clark alone in the gun. Receives the snap now. Blitz coming from the right side. He doesn't know if he sees it. And he kind of tosses it away aimlessly. And it looks like they're going to get him for intentional grounding, I believe. Yep, 2 flags in. I think that's intentional grounding.
Yeah, it looks like it was intentional grounding. Well, he got outside the pocket, so maybe not. They got to talk about it. But I think the ball has to at least get to the line of scrimmage and got nowhere close to that. So it should be intentional grounding. There was no Pennwood receivers.
And yes, it is intentional grounding. Wasn't a bad idea by Clark, but a decision he had to make a second earlier. And, you know, that time in defense of the Pennwood offensive line, Academy Park did dial up a blitz there. That wasn't just a free rusher coming in unblocked. That was a numbers game there from Academy Park. Man, Ibrahim Sonogo, I'm surprised he doesn't have more sacks on today's game. He's gotten in free almost every time. I think he's got 1, maybe 1.5 sacks to show for it.
Yeah, but what he has done, he's got probably 20 hurries.
Yeah.
You know, he's
maybe more.
He's got a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the punt from Secor. Not a bad one. Takes an odd hop. Greenwood trying to make something out of it, though. He spins out of the tackle, actually, but now he's ganged up on. And we got another flag here. I'm not sure. I didn't see what this one was on.
A lot of flags early on here in the second half. Looks like an area of like holding or blocking the back. Hopefully it wasn't a face mask. I can't see anything that would have won against Pennwood other than a face mask. Looks like somebody's down on the field. We have an Academy Park player injured on the field.
I believe that's the punt returner, Khalil Greenwood, who's down here. Looks a little awkward spinning out of that tackle. Don't want to speculate here, but it does look like it's just a cramp the way they're stretching him out.
That's the hope. Hopefully it's just a cramp and he'll be able to get back out on the field.
And he gets up. He'll hobble off the field.
Let's give it up for the young man.
As he gets up on his own power, walks off on his own power. He's got a little bit of a limp, but looks like it might have just been a cramp situation. And I know firsthand from experience that those calf muscle cramps are no joke.
Oh, yeah. Nah, you just hope it's not something more like a pulled or torn something. And I can't imagine he would have gotten up that quickly if it was. So good to see it. Khalil Greenwood. You know, you got to think maybe his day will be done. 37-0. You don't want to run him into the ground. He's had a great game, too.
Absolutely.
Very speedy presence.
Yeah, and as we're entering the mercy rule right now, as it's above 35-0, as the score is 37-0, I would expect to see, you know, some of the starters from Academy Park being taken out of the game. Just to preserve them, you know, give them a rest, get some of the younger guys more experience, some experience playing at the varsity level, and you know, getting guys rested for the playoff push that they have coming up.
That's right, you know, and it was something I found interesting, Justin. Not sure if you were here last year. This game was only 14-13, and Pennwood won it, if I'm not mistaken, last year. What's changed this quickly?
Well, to begin, I was around last year, but I wasn't at the game. But however, you know, when you have last year was a special year, right? We had the whole COVID spring season, spring season going on. You know, you were able to do a lot of things differently. You were able to, you know, take advantage of things. Things were just so different last year. You know, teams were trying to really establish, especially a team like Pennwood, who had a lot of seniors graduate the year before. The year before being they were in the state rounds of the playoffs.
Wow.
They were really trying to figure some things out, and so was the AP in a sense. They were trying to figure some things out too.
And we're back. Darryl Fields hands it off. I believe that's Davis. And that is Davis. I'm just shocked that he's still getting the brunt of the carries here, up 37-0. But I was going to say a rare stop, but somehow he ended up still getting 4 or 5 yards on that.
Yeah, they're going to keep running the ball, keeping the ball on the ground, keep the clock running. The clock's going to run regardless, but, you know, as a football team, at this point you're not looking to put the ball in the air but so much. You know, this is high school ball. There is sportsmanship involved. Even though it is a rivalry game, a crosstown rival, I expect to see Academy Park really running the ball from here on out.
Fields hands it off to Davis. Davis cuts ahead, just pushing through defenders. Wow, he's not the biggest guy, but he knows how to use his physicality. That's a nice 10-yard physical run from Joe Davis. Another first down for the Academy Park Knights.
Yeah, he gets out there, he gets those legs moving. He's like a bowling ball out there, just knocking everybody over. If you're not getting low and wrapping and lifting and twisting, getting the legs out from underneath of him, you really don't have a good shot at getting him to the ground.
Looks like someone jumped, but no flags. Davis gets the handoff, falls forward for another 5 yards.
Somebody had a little jump, didn't get called, but it didn't matter. They were still able to get positive yardage, so it didn't make a difference.
You don't like them, do something about it. Let's go, Pennwood.
Just under 6 minutes to go here now. Academy Park looks to salt this one away. Wondering if they'll go. I mean, like you said, sportsmanship involved. Want to keep the game moving, or should I say the clock moving, keeping it on the ground. But it's so tempting to go for a shot play or something like that at a time like this. Eric Willis in the backfield this time. Should I say next to Darrell Fields, and Willis gets the ball, cuts it outside. Nice burst of speed, pulls over a defender, and gets knocked out of bounds. His bench hype after that one.
Yeah, the Academy Park side is really loving that play right there as he goes through a couple of defenders and really makes some things happen out there. As a teammate, you love seeing that happen, especially against your rival Pennwood.
Yeah, Pennwood, it just seems like the defender's not keeping a low center of gravity here because, man, they've been getting run over by these running backs from Academy Park. And Eric Willis not listed as a running back. Kind of, you can see it there, a little bit of more of a wide receiver speed. And Joe Davis, more of a one-cut, kind of your standard running back here. And that is Davis, who's back next to Darrell Fields. Fields in the shotgun here, gets the snap, hands it off to Davis. Davis runs into a wall and sort of falls forward, but we got a flag on the play. And we got a holding on Academy Park. So this should set up a 2nd and 20 for Academy Park. Question is, what can Pennwood do with that 2nd and 20? We've seen some pretty large down and distance from Academy Park, but what we haven't seen has been a punt or a turnover on downs for that matter. Has Academy Park not ended a drive?
No, they have not ended the drive with a turnover on downs at this point. They have not punted. This is a great opportunity for Pennwood right now, being 1st and 19 as it says on the board, but it's just one of the things they have an opportunity to make something happen here defensively.
Handoff here, and a gain of about, I want to say 7 or 8. So like I was just saying, not able to keep it a 2nd and long or a 3rd and long. Certainly not 2nd and 13 here. So certainly not short, but you want to force Academy Park into a 3rd and long situation. And it looks like the backups have entered the game here for Academy Park now. Going to have to learn a couple new names here. Looks like that's Deshaun Billups as the backup quarterback. And I believe Nikhil Rudy next to him is a backup running back here. That is Rudy who has it. Cuts it outside to the left, has some room, and he's going to find the end zone. So maybe some of these backups here, they've been on the bench chomping at the bit to get in the game, and more importantly, get in the end zone for Academy Park. And that is Nikhil Rudy finding the end zone. The sophomore gets his first touchdown in the game, and that makes it a 43-0 Academy Park lead.
And that's a play right there where Pennwood misses actually sophomore Devontae Bender, where he would have been on that side of the field. Probably able to make that, maybe able to have been able to make that play, at least make it difficult for Academy Park to get in. As people may remember, Bender was taken off the field in the ambulance last week, but I've seen him a couple times since then. He's doing just fine, and he's healing up just right.
And the kick is no good. And hey, a positive for Pennwood there. Not a positive, 43-0. It's 43-0 here for Academy Park. And just 3:27 to go here in the 3rd quarter. There's still an entire quarter left of football to be played after this. Pennwood playing for pride here, and that's not the first time we've said that on this broadcast this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that this year. I mean, you really got to play for the name on your front of your jersey right now. You got to play for your fans, play for your school. If you care anything about any of that, if not, you got to play for yourself. You have to show some heart for yourself. It's people are watching. I was always told you got to play your best, do your best out there, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching out here, so you always got to go 100% from whistle to whistle, from horn to horn.
So Pennwood, barring an absolute miracle, this would be their 10th consecutive loss in the last 2 seasons. And they only have one opportunity to put an end to that losing streak for the rest of the season. Next Saturday at 1 p.m., they'll be heading to Prospect Park to take on Interboro. And based on what we're seeing here today, might not be much more luck. Interboro at least able to hold Academy Park to 37 points. Interboro put up 10 points of their own against Academy Park last week. And the kick. This one looks like it's going to Aaron Stevens. Stevens actually has a block. Oh, a huge block from Jayon Haley. But Stevens gets knocked out of bounds around the 40. We got some laundry on the field. Wow, look at that from Jayon Haley. Just a testament to the absolute athlete he is. And not only is he an athlete, great vision and great IQ there to pick out he picked out the perfect block. I thought if Aaron Stevens maybe cut it back towards the middle of the field, could have had a real chance.
I've been watching Haley on the kickoffs where he does not get the ball, and he always selects he's selective on his blocks, and he selects really the right place to block. And right there, you saw him blow somebody. I think he took his frustrations on the day out on that one defender there, really put him on the ground and just went through him and opened up some lanes for the returner.
Fortunately for Pennwood, never mind. I may have spoken too soon. So never mind. No flag. Looks like they pick up the flag on the play. That's about where Aaron Stevens wound up. Jayon Haley, he's got a great football IQ. I will say that. Not only is he a tremendous athlete, he knows where to be and he knows what the play should look like, even if the team isn't able to execute on that given day. Cavalian Clark has it, goes right to Haley, and Haley just gets smacked. Haley pops right up, being a tough guy like himself. But that's exactly what we saw. We almost saw that play happen on the first drive.
Absolutely.
That time, Haley kind of just let it sail over his head. A little later in the game, maybe trying a little more desperate to make something happen, he goes up for it, and he pays the price.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exact. I was going to say, we saw that earlier in the game where he let the ball, where he didn't really have a choice, but the ball goes over his head, and he avoided some contact on the first drive of the game there. And in that situation, it was almost the same type situation where the quarterback, the ball comes in high because he had to get it over the defender coming in untouched, and the ball comes in high to Haley, really opened him up for that hit that he got.
Let's see what's going on here. We got Cavalian Clark and Jayon Haley in the backfield together. Rare sight. Clark takes it. Haley in there for a blocker. And it doesn't matter. Absolutely swarmed. The pocket collapses around Clark. And that's another sack for the Academy Park team. So, like I said, 43-0 is the score. We go under 2 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. And a long third down here. Let's say a 3rd and 17, maybe a 3rd and 18.
I know the Pennwood coaches are going to have a strong, long off-season regimen for the offensive line and getting to their blocks, getting to their assignments, and being able to hold their blocks. I know the guys are young, so they got a lot to learn about being on that offensive line.
3rd and 17. Clark in the gun. He's back to pass. He's looking to air it out. Evades one tackler, and now he's going to run with it. He just gets pushed out of bounds back at the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a little bit ahead. He'll set up a 4th down and 10.
And that was actually a really great job by the Pennwood offensive line of blocking there. They gave the quarterback some time in that, which he has not been, he hasn't had the time, that kind of time all day. So he had a little bit more time there. He's able to look downfield, scan the field, decided to bring the ball down and run with it. But that's the kind of, we need more plays like that where the offensive line is able to hold some of their blockers back and give the quarterback some time.
Well, Secor's out to punt. He fakes it. He airs it out. Oh, and it just goes over the head of Aaron Stevens. He had him open. It was actually a nice play there. We do have a flag on the play, and maybe there's a reason Stevens got so open. Or do we have a 1st down for Pennwood? Waiting to get a call from the umpire. We got a holding on the defense. So an automatic 1st down for Pennwood and a 4th and 10 that looked impossible to overcome. They get bailed out.
Nothing is possible. A long time ago, a wise man named Kevin Garnett said anything is possible.
He's bringing up KG on the Pennwood broadcast. Oh, man. That's what Jayon Haley would certainly be screaming if this team puts up 44 here in the next quarter and shocks us all. And it is that man, Jayon Haley, in the gun, taking himself on. He bursts right up the middle. He's got room. He gets upended at the 40-yard line, but the damage was done. A beautiful run. And I got to ask, where's that been all day from Jayon Haley, as he seems to be a little bit limp. Might have gotten dead-legged there by his opponent's helmet. Let's hope it's nothing more than that, as he's walking off a bit gimpy. The end of the third quarter concludes 43-0. We're going to take a brief break here at Sports Fan Base Network, but we will be back for the final quarter of action between the Pennwood Patriots and the Academy Park Knights. Stay right here. Shout out to the DJ.
DJ Mike.
Well, we are back. And I was just saying in the break, shout out to the DJ here.
Oh, that really was the break. I'm sorry, I messed that all up, huh?
Man.
I thought we were on when you said that.
And we got a handoff, or should I say a direct snap. Aaron Stevens looking for the edge. He actually got the edge there. I thought that was going to be a loss of 5. Good credit to him to get a yard on that play, but not much more. Might have spoke too soon, actually. They're going to give him 4 or 5 yards on that play. It's a great job by Stevens to come all the way around and pick up a few yards.
Yeah, we haven't seen them run the ball to the outside very much, and we know that's one of the strengths of their offense is getting the ball off outside the edge and getting yards that way. And that was we haven't seen that in a while. It was a good play by the Pennwood offense on that in that situation. We'll probably see a little bit more of that going forward.
2nd and 5. Aaron Stevens looks like he's going to take the direct snap again. I believe Jayon Haley on the sidelines. Fakes one way, now going the other. Oh. And he falls down behind the line of scrimmage.
Extracurricular, we do have a man down.
We got an injury here.
And that was
Aaron Stevens juked him out. And he ended up on the ground. You never like to see an injury like this where there's no contact here. Can't quite see the number.
It looked like they're trying to straighten his leg out. He might. Hopefully it's just a cramp there too.
Might be a hamstring there.
No, there was the he was the defender on the play. The play was originally looking like it was coming to this side, and there was a little jab step juke play there, and like you said, no contact on the play, but he had to stop his progress. And sometimes when you have that stopped progress, some things can happen. And I don't want to speculate. I'm hoping it's just maybe a cramp, but you just never know.
Well, the injured player down. We're going to go to a brief break here until both teams are back on the field and return to action. We'll get the name and number on the player who's down in a moment. And we are back. It was Darren Graham, who was the Shaken Up Academy Park player. He was able to walk off on his own power. Looked to be okay. Let's hope everything's all right with Darren. We're back in action now. I believe that's Aaron Stevens. And no, we got a new character taking snaps here. Oh, and he's absolutely walloped. A few yards behind the line of scrimmage. That was Amadou Kamara taking the direct snap and running side to side with it, but never gotten close to that line of scrimmage.
No, that was a busted play from the beginning. I mean, they had that sniffed out. They were just waiting for the right moment to really pounce on him, and that's exactly what they did. They were able to get him out of there pretty quick. Hard tackle right there on the over there. What's that? The about the 48 yard line, 47 maybe.
Well, at this point in the game, 4th down, 4th and 11.
Excuse me, 41. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm counting the wrong way. Counting the wrong way over here.
It's Cavilian Clark in the gun. Looks like Academy Park dialing up a blitz here. Clark has it. Good blocking. Airs it out to Jayon Haley. Can he find it? Oh, he went up for it, had it for a moment. And ultimately that ball just bounces harmlessly away.
It's tough. That was a tough play. He was thrown into double coverage. Jayon Haley had some position on it. It was tough going up there with a couple hands in your face. It just went through his hands, bounced off his chest a little bit. He wasn't able to get it, but pre-snap, you saw some motion from the Pennwood offense. Getting the trying to put a little bit of confusion into the Academy Park defense. We'd like to see a little bit more of that. See a little bit more pre-snap motion, to see how Academy Park is able to respond to it and what adjustments they make, and if that can clear up anything for the Pennwood offense.
Well, it was a turnover on downs. Now Academy Park looks to add to their 43-point lead. If you're Pennwood, you just hope you don't lose 50-0. That would be very demoralizing. But great defense there. A nice tackle for loss. A few different members of the Pennwood defensive line getting in the backfield there and putting a stop to McKeel Rudy's day. He had the touchdown that last drive. The backups are in now for Academy Park. Not sure about Pennwood. Looks like they got their starting crew in still.
I got to be honest. I completely lost track of the ball in that play. I was looking at some of these new players for Academy Park, for some of these backups they put in, and some of the size of the backups that they have.
Right. I mean,
unreal.
These are the backups, and even the backups have gigantic men on the line here.
Oh yeah.
Not sure what their skill is, but I can sure see their size. It's Deshaun Billups in the gun, and we got a whistle. You got a flag. A false start called on Academy Park.
Y'all gonna learn today.
As we got the truth from the booth, Khalil Shields is out here. As always, it's always an experience here at Pennwood football games.
Yeah, Pennwood football. Excellent job. The DJ, Truth in the Booth emceeing. Cheerleaders and marching band always bring the life. And even when you got a 43-0 football game, you got good things at Kerr Field. And hopefully better things ahead next season for Pennwood, their final home game this year. Handoff, little counter here. Oh, and he is gone. McKeel Rudy down the sideline, the 20, the 10, and into the end zone he goes. That'll make it 49-0, an Academy Park lead. That time there, Justin, I think you were mentioning it earlier on the broadcast, a simple misdirection will do to a young defense, and that looked like that's what it was there, a little counter out of the shotgun, and the Pennwood defense didn't know what hit them.
Yeah, you got to stay home with misdirections. You got to stay home defensively because, the offensive job is not only to get yards and score, but it's to confuse the defense enough to be able to get the yards and score. And that's just what happened just now. The running back was able to get to the edge, and once he got some room, There was no catching. Nobody on the Pennwood defense was able to catch him or run him down and even get close to it. Great job by the Academy Park offense.
A fumble of the snap here. And that'll at least prevent the 50 burger from Academy Park. Keep the score under 50. So those who had the Academy Park over 50, not pleased with that.
No, but we won't talk about that.
7 minutes of play left here in the fourth quarter. Have a flag called on an Academy Park player as they run off against the sidelines. Maybe the NFL isn't the only league cracking down on taunting here.
Something, I don't know what that might have. I did see one player with his helmet off before he got off the field, and it looks like that might be what the call is. And that might be a little ticky-tack because, they were coming off the field. The coach was actually on the field. It could have been against the coach, but I saw the referee take his hat off as if he was signifying that that's what the call was. You can't take your helmet off before you get off the field. It looks like they're moving. They might be moving back the kickoff position.
We saw the flag called, but
wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh.
Now this makes more sense. Backing him up 15 yards for the kickoff. The exact call, I'm not sure, but hey, some personal foul, maybe some taunting, maybe a coach on the sideline like you were saying. But honestly, I hate to say it, but this might be the real opportunity for Pennwood to score.
Yeah, they should come away with some good field position here.
I mean on the kickoff here, on the kick return. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They should come away with some good field position.
We've seen it all season from Pennwood too. They've actually been able to get a big play, but if that big play doesn't wind up in the end zone, they have trouble in the red zone as well. And they kick it to Jayon Haley. Let's see if he can make something happen. Slow out of the blocks, but now here comes the burst. But he's just gang tackled right at midfield, exactly at the 50-yard line. So running clock now as it trickles under 6 minutes, 40 seconds. Pennwood, interesting to see if they just try and get something positive or just throw everything out the window and air the ball out, run 4 verticals every play.
Yeah, you really got to find something that's positive to take into next week as you go into the final game next week at Interboro. You want to get some positive things going, get something that you can hang your hat on that you believe you can do against Interboro, and you do it here. Try to establish yourself here.
Haley in the gun, hands off to Stevens. Stevens runs ahead through a hole, and then is met by a few defenders and just falls forward.
And if you've ever been to a Pennwood Academy Park game, the time has come for the, I guess you call it the annual cheerleaders battle. And if you hear the crowd getting worked up, that's what this is about. Now you get the cheerleaders battle going on here. This is not just a football rivalry; it's a school rivalry. So whatever the sport is, it doesn't matter. It's rivals, and everybody wants to win. They want to go home with bragging rights.
Haley hands off to Stevens. Stevens pitched back to Haley. A little slick play, but he still gets knocked out of bounds about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You don't usually see that. If it doesn't work, it's stupid. If it works, it's a smart
genius,
play there.
Yeah.
So smart play there by Aaron Stevens.
It worked out for him. Wasn't expected to work out for him. Wasn't even expected to get pitched back, I'm going to assume. But they were actually able to save some yards. I'm not going to say regain some yards. They were actually able to save some yards on that play. As the cheerleader battle is still going on.
Under 5 minutes to go. This game's all but over, but the cheerleader battle has got the fans in a frenzy. Haley has it in the gun. He's looking to throw. Pocket collapsing. He steps up, trying to shimmy, trying to make magic happen, and he is for the time being, somehow still on his feet, but eventually had to be brought down. Oh, and we got a punch thrown by Jayon Haley. He got his helmet ripped off. Things are starting to come off the hinges now.
And he knows he messed up. He knows he messed up just now. There's a lot of frustration there, a lot of anger. There's a lot of emotions here in the game. You know, I know the kid personally. That's not in his character. Something had to have happened for him to do that. But you can't react like that on the football field. You know, not only will you get eliminated from the game, you know, they may try to suspend you for another game. You know, Haley being a good kid. You know, I know some of the family, and you know, I know that's something unfortunate that happens there. You just can't have that type of reaction.
His last home game of his career, certainly not how he wanted to go out.
As the referees are still discussing what's going on there, they might just be trying to get all their information together for the post game report. And while all that's going on, this cheerleader battle is still going on. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphones, but it's still going on. As the Pennwood cheerleaders are telling the Academy Park cheerleaders, they had a whole cheer together telling them to stop talking. So, you know. It's funny because this cheerleader battle used to be they used to be a lot closer in vicinity. So I don't know COVID or what, but they're not that close. They're probably Penwood cheerleaders are about at the 50-yard line, where the Academy Park cheerleaders are about at the 40-yard line. You know, I guess Penwood cheerleaders more about the 45-yard line, but on the track though. If you I don't know if you can see them on the broadcast or not, but they're on the track, and if you've ever been here at Curve Field, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So, referee just dished out his penalties. I heard him say number 11 was ejected.
Number 11?
But I didn't hear number 6. I'm wondering if there's something that happened.
7, you talking about Jayon Haley?
Right.
Number 7?
Maybe he said number 7. Maybe he did say number 7 and I misheard.
Yeah,
I was wondering if something happened with an Academy Park player who was number 11 who may have incited it. But number 7 would make more sense, clearly through the punch there.
Yeah, I don't see Haley in the game, and I don't see him. I don't particularly see him on the sidelines right now, so I don't know. I see him over there. He still has his helmet off. They have him away from the team. So I know that's not how he wanted this thing, you know, his Pennwood football career to end on the field, on the home field. But you know, unfortunately, he had that reaction, and things have to go the way they have to go.
And a handoff immediately swallowed on 3rd down. And this will set up a 4th and long for Pennwood. So it appears Jayon Haley's day is done. Helmet is off on the sideline.
Nobody's taking it from him, though, which I find interesting. I mean, I know this is not the pros, and I know in the pros they'll take your helmet from you so you can't get back out there. But as I see, he's over there. Coach Troop is talking to him now. We still have play going on here on the field.
Some pressure from the Academy Park defense. And I believe that's David Anaglade. He just has to throw it away on 4th down. Not really much of a choice. 3:17 is left on the game. I gotta imagine a few runs from Academy Park we'll see here, and how to run out the clock. The real game here is the cheerleaders right now. An intense back and forth battle.
Yeah, I'm afraid to admit I probably was watching more of the cheerleader battle the last.
Oh, don't be afraid to admit it. Don't be afraid to admit it. I've been doing the same thing over here.
There's a lot more going on in the cheerleader battle than the football battle at this point right now.
Between the flags, between sorting out the penalties, between 49-0. There is still football going on here. Oh, fumbled snap from Academy Park. Phillips just has to pick it up, try to make magic happen, but he's ultimately wrapped up and tackled 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And positive play for the negative play makes it a positive play for the Pennwood defense. And, you know, they were able to get with the bobbled snap, with the fumbled snap. They were able to get back into the backfield. And it still took them a little bit. That offensive line of Academy Park is still doing their job, even with the backups in, still doing a good job of keeping the Pennwood defensive line at bay. And they almost turned it into a positive, but Pennwood's defense was able to get past their blockers, get through the block and make a play.
Now under 2 minutes left here from Kerr Field. Billups and Rudy. Billups takes it himself, tackle behind the line of scrimmage, or maybe just barely made it to the line of scrimmage. And we might just have one more play in this game before we hit triple zeros.
And before everything is over, let's work for these cheerleaders on the side. Doing their thing, everybody. Here for both sides. They're giving it their all.
The crowd gives one last applause for the cheerleaders here today. Love the pageantry of the game, but the game itself today leaving a little bit more to be desired.
Absolutely, especially if you're a Pennwood Patriot fan. You want to see a little bit more out of your team, but as I've often stated, this is a young team. They are rebuilding. They are learning, so you got to be patient with it.
Phillips in the gun. This will be the last play of the game here. Hands it off to Rudy. Rudy bouncing outside.
Oh, no.
Trying to get one last more score, but he's finally tackled at the 35-yard line. And that will wrap it up here from Kerr Field. The final score, the Academy Park Knights 49, the Pennwood Patriots nothing. Back-to-back games from the Patriots now, unable to find the scoreboard. And for the Patriots, their 10th consecutive loss. They'll be going to Interborough next week to look to break the schneid. And for the Academy Park Patriots, they're 7-2 and heading into the postseason very strong. For Justin Watson, I'm Josh Safran, thanking you for joining us here at Sports Fanbase Network. And folks, early on Saturday, have a great weekend. Of course, go Birds tomorrow. And that'll conclude this broadcast of Pennwood versus Academy Park. Have a good one, everybody.